All right, Jeff Zimmerman with one of the top trainers, managers in all of boxing, my friend Jose Benavidez Sr. How you doing, Jose?
Thank you, man. Thank you for the invite, man. We're here, super busy. Thank God, this Saturday we have Diego Pacheco going against Nelson, a main event. Really tough fight, but I believe that Diego's ready for the kind of challenges in order to get bigger fights and hopefully next fight for a world title. Next week we got David Benavidez fighting against Morrell, so I'm excited, man. Super excited.
Yeah, man, you're one of the busiest guys in boxing right now. This Diego Pacheco fight against so-called Nelson is a great fight, and because your son is fighting the following week, it's kind of been overlooked a little bit. Talk about that matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Both fights, in my opinion, I think they're very tough, very dangerous. We go with, I'm going to start with David Benavidez. We're fighting a young fighter, hungry, a good amateur pedigree, a two-time world champion, very dangerous, a left-hander, but I think that there's levels to this. David has been here before, and I think he has experience, and I think David's going to look spectacular.
Yeah, so we're talking about the February 1st showdown with David Morrell. Listen, I was talking to Roy Jones recently, and he said Cuban fighters, with all that experience, even though he's only had about 12 pro fights, that's like 25 fights in the U.S. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, he had a really good pedigree, amateur, very decorated amateur. And now, he's a two-time world champion, cannot take nothing away from him. So hopefully we can get the credit that we are going to beat a real legit fighter.
Yeah, Roy also said, Jose, just for the record, that David Morrell would have to earn your son's respect early. He would have to catch him. Otherwise, your son's going to dog walk him.
Yeah, for sure. We have our game plan, what we're going to do with this guy. We're going to take him to the deep waters and trying to drown him. Let's see if he can swim, But yeah, amateur and professional, I think in my mind it's a little bit different. But you're facing David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, at the end of the day, So not an easy fight for none of us, not for him, not for us. We got to prove ourselves. We want to make history. And these are the kind of fights that we want to get, fights that are going to motivate you, fights that are going to make you learn and get better and better so we can make history one day.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because this is a fight that nobody in your position would take. Not only are you fighting a Cuban, a southpaw to boot. I mean, David, he's such a bigger fighter on the world stage as far as popularity, nicknamed the Mexican Monster, Mike Tyson in his corner, but yet he's really one of the few fighters today fighting for legacy, it seems like.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to go back when we fought Caleb Plant. That was a really tough fight. When we fought Boo Boo, a lot of people were saying that David was going to get exposed. Boo Boo was going to make him look like an amateur and this and that. Now they're saying the same thing about the Cuban, that, oh my God, he's so fast. He's this, he's that. But I'm happy to hear that, to be honest, because that motivates us, And even David Morrell says that David's a robot, that he walks and throws like a robot, but he forgot to mention that he's a robot AI, so he's not going to see those punches coming, But I love that. I love that. These are the fights, like I said, tough fights, hard fights, very close, fights. A lot of people say it's a 50-50 fight. I don't think so. And I gotta think that way because I in my mind, we're gonna destroy this guy. In my mind, I think David's in another level. And but I hear a lot of good comments. And at the end of the day, I think the winners are gonna be the fans. The fans are paying, working so hard to pay these pay-per-views and all that. So we want to give them a good fight, man. So this is going to be a really, really good fight. Two undefeated fighters. Morrell, two-time world champion. David, a four-time world champion in two divisions. Also Morrell, a two-division, These are the fights that excites people. And I think it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, and I heard ticket sales are doing well. Let me ask you, is David now just hitting his prime? I mean, after all these years?
You know, I want to tell you, you know, this is the best camp I ever had, and everybody's going to tell you, oh, this is the best camp I ever had, this and that. But the reason I'm going to tell you this is the best camp we ever had because I see David in this fight maturing and getting his manpower.
Hmm.
And, you know, mentally, physically, he's connecting also with the stars, with the universe, with God, and knowing his body. And he has another baby coming on the way. And, you know, he's so motivated, man, you know, and so happy and hungry. And you know, I see a dangerous David Benavidez this in this camp. That's why I said this is the best camp. And you guys are going to see a different David Benavidez.
What is there anything that concerns you about Morrell? Southpaw,
Nothing at
Cuban.
all. You know, like I said, I don't want to underestimate him. I don't want to take nothing away from him. Like I say, he's a great champion. He's a great fighter, young challenge champion. But I know what I have. David's been training since he was 2 years old. He debuted at 16 years old. You know, nothing was given to us. You know, we had to work hard to be where we at, especially David. Nobody believed in him. And look what he's been doing. So I believe that David is a special breed. You know, David's a special fighter because he's been proving himself and he continues to prove himself after all these big challenges. And we got to continue proving ourselves. So I'm just hoping that we can get that credit that he deserves after we beat David Morrell.
Now, Jose, the fight you guys chased for a long time, and you know, obviously everybody wanted that fight with Canelo. It didn't happen, and now there's talk about him fighting Bud Crawford, who going up 2, 3 weight classes. What are your thoughts on that?
The only thing that my only comment would be I would be embarrassed to ask for that fight for David Benavidez. You know, so I mean, I just think that David Benavidez is too big. I think Canelo is too big. You know, I mean, I'm not interested. I don't think it's a fair fight. I don't think it's a kind of equal fight. You know, Canelo's just too big for Test Crawford.
Now with Turki, Al in the mix, you know, he's throwing money around like it's going out of style, and he's making a lot of big fights, right? I mean, credit to him. Do you think now there is a hope for him and Canelo, David and Canelo, to get in the ring just because now there's somebody willing to pay for it?
You know what? To be honest, that's a great thing. I'm happy to hear that. And but right now at this point, I don't give a fuck about Canelo, man. To be honest, we're focused 100% locked in on David Morrell. It's a tough fight. It's one of the toughest fights of David Benavidez to this date. You know, so we're gonna have to focus on David Morrell. We cannot underestimate him. You know, he's a two-time world champion in two division class and a young fighter. So that's what's in our mind right now. 100%. David Morrell. But it makes me happy though to hear that. Hopefully that in the future it can happen. But I'm just down with Canelo, man. You know, to be honest with you, I don't think no money is gonna make him get inside the ring with David Benavidez, the Mexican monster.
Yeah, and we'll wrap up here in a few minutes. I'm here with one of the top trainers in all of boxing, Jose Benavidez. Got a fight this weekend with Diego Pacheco, and then his son, David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, the next week. Bivol Beterbiev, you guys are now campaigning at 175. You finally moved up. Got a rematch coming up with those guys. What are your thoughts on that fight? And
Yeah, you know, you said it right. You know, that's we're more focused and aiming to that side. You know, with Bivol Beterbiev and maybe Sudo Ramirez, the cruiserweight. You know, that's a more doable fight, a more realistic fight than Canelo. So that's why we're trying to, you know, open our path. David's only 28 years old, you know, so at the end of the day, he's super young. You know, he's barely hitting his peaking at his age, you know. So, man, those are the fights that are more realistic in reality, to be honest with you. That's what he wants. That's what he was talking about, and that's what he's talking about. Like I said, you know, let's focus on David Morrell.
who do you like in the Bivol Beterbiev rematch?
It's an exciting fight. I was very excited to see that fight when they had the first fight. It was a pretty close fight. I believe that it should have been maybe a draw. I believe in my mind that Bivol won by maybe 1 point. It was super close. It was a super close fight. I think it's going to be the same. You know, both wanted to win so bad, and it was just impossible. The styles were great, you know, and it was just very hard for each other to figure each other out.
And the winner between you and David Morrell is the mandatory, I believe?
The what? I'm sorry?
The winner between Morrell and David, your son, is the mandatory to that?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard from the WBC. It's going to be a mandatory. The winner of David Morrell and David Benavidez, winner of B-Boy and Better Beef. So I think that's more of a doable fight. I think these guys will fight anybody. They're not dodging or ducking nobody. These guys will fight anybody. So I think that's a more dual fight, and hopefully that's the case. And everybody happy.
Yeah, no, we'll leave with this. Your other son, Jose Jr., that's when I met you, when he was just kicking off with Top Rank, I don't know how many years ago. He's on the card also, Jose, right?
Yeah. Let me start back again with Diego Pacheco. I got Omar, the Super Salcido, fighting Andy Cruz, a co-main event, another great fight. And then on David's card, we got David Benavidez. Then we got Jose Benavidez Jr. Then we got Daniel Blancas and Gabby Tellez. So I have like about 4 fighters in that card, and super excited about that. Junior is fighting there, is coming back. Hopefully he can look impressive in order to get bigger fights, and he's super motivated, super happy, strong, and hungry. So he's only 31 years old. So I'm very happy about that, and I want to thank God, for all these blessings. I'm super happy, super. I mean, couldn't be better.
Well, listen, man, I know you're busy. You just said it all right there. You got a lot of fighters on these cards back to back. Always appreciate the time. Always good to see you. Hopefully I'll see you at one of the fights here soon. But if you get to Dallas, man, give me a shout.
For sure. Thank you, buddy. Really
All right,
appreciate
Jose.
it.
Good
Take
luck.
care. Bye.